Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk, Real Sports with my co-host Michael Sanchez and your host Anthony Sanchez. Well, there's a lot been going on in sports in the past week. If anybody's been following the Heat, you know the Heat has been a little bit hot and cold at the same time. And I don't know, what are your thoughts about the Heat? What's been going on with them?
All I gotta say about them is inconsistent. 2 games left. Indiana just finished beating OKC about 5 minutes ago. They pretty much are trying to lock up that number 1 seed, and Miami is pretty much locking themselves out of that number 1 seed.
Yeah, that number 1 seed now is starting to fade away. Right now, the Pacers, with today's win, they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 102-97, and that basically now gives them 1 game away from locking up the spot. They play Orlando to lock up the number 1 seed. If they win, there's nothing. It doesn't matter what the Heat do. They're going to get the spot.
True. And Miami, even if they win out, beating Washington and Philadelphia, as long as Indiana beats Orlando, that's it. They take the number 1 spot.
Yeah, and I mean the Heat have nobody to blame but themselves. I mean, to lose to the Atlanta Hawks last night, 98-85. I mean, you know what's at stake. I mean, you could have easily put the Indiana Pacers in a hole after beating them on Friday. I mean, it looked like the Heat were back, and then again, they just fade back to. Again, like you said, the perfect word, inconsistency. You just don't know what you're going to get.
They're playing out of whack. They say that it's Dwayne Wade out. I mean, Dwayne Wade played last night, had 20-plus points, and they still fall short, way short of the Atlanta Hawks that just made it to the 8th seed.
Yeah, no, 24 points for Wade. I mean, you can't put any blame on him. He came right back, first game back. I mean, yes, he's missed some games, but do you want to risk him getting even more injured during the season or have him ready for the playoffs? I think a lot of people made a big deal about Dwayne Wade missing some time. But look at him. He's back on the floor. He didn't look rusty at all to me. He was out there. I mean, maybe a few things here and there.
I hate to put the pressure on the king, but hey, that's what you're on the throne for. And you need to make a little bit better decisions out there. I'm not saying you're playing terrible, but you are making very bad decisions come the last stretch of the game.
No, I agree. I mean, I think, like I said, I'm not here to bash on LeBron or anything like that. I think LeBron has done a great job. I mean, but at the same time, he has to look at himself and realize, man, maybe I'm taking it a step further, and I'm trying to take over way too much when I got my guys right there. Don't give up on the guys yet. Yeah, they're a little older. It might look to them like they're fading out. Don't give up on them. They're there. They're veterans. They've shown they come through in the clutch. Ray Allen, Shane Battier, all these guys are veterans and pros for a reason. So, I mean, I'm not here to panic. I'm not saying that, we're not going to do well in the playoffs. But I just think that going into the playoffs, you want to build a little consistency. I hope these last 2 games, we do win out, whatever we get the number 1 or not. Hopefully we win out, go in there with a positive attitude and energy. And let's see what happens and let the playoffs begin. Any final thoughts about the Heat?
Spo, I hope you get your big boys ready because UD, Birdman, Odin, Bosch, that's going to be the recipe to success during these playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what Rio can do. You know what Dwayne Wade's going to do. LeBron, Cole, these are your most consistent guys. The big men, those are the ones we need to show up every single night.
No, yeah, I agree. And last point to make about that is you mentioned Odin. Haven't seen Odin playing. I don't know if he's injured or it's they're trying to save him for the playoffs. But I would like to see him at least get some last couple minutes in before the season finishes.
Yeah, Hamilton's been getting more playing time than Odin lately, so that goes to tell you something.
Supposedly there's a big plan for Odin against the Pacers, and I mean, if he's going to go in there rusty, we don't want to put that as a liability or as something we need to count on. But moving on to our next topic is something that you see me wearing their name right now, but I'm a little disappointed in the Marlins. We started on fire, 5-1. And since then, we've won a 6-game losing streak. We're 5-7 at the moment, and I don't know what to say right now. I mean, they look a little in shambles. I mean, the hitting has been down. It's been up and down. I mean, the power is there.
Yeah,
that's actually been the scary part.
They are hitting.
The power is there, but the bases are not. With runners in scoring position, that's not coming more frequently than it should. The pitching has kind of let us down, believe it or not.
No, definitely. They only have 1 pitcher with 2 wins. And that's Jose Fernandez, their ace. Everybody else is 1-1. Tonight's pitcher in Alvarez, 0-2 pitcher, an ERA of 4.7. Another guy in there, Olivati, is pitching 4.2 ERA. Jose Fernandez, as good as he's doing, is still an ERA of 3.7.
Yeah, no, he had a rough night the other night. I mean, I know that's not something typical of him. I mean, but again, we know that great players like anybody else is gonna run into days that they have a bad day. So I don't think Jose Fernandez we're too worried about. But what we are worried about is especially the bullpen has been giving up leads. I mean, something that was our strongest point last year, is really looking to bite us in the in the behind right now. We've been going into games right now, leading in the 7th, 8th inning. 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. 1 or 2 run leads, and we're blowing them. The bullpen is something that needs to be addressed. But again, we're not panicking. I'm not saying that it's going to end up another 100-game season loss.
But at least we're seeing some promising things from these guys. You got Giancarlo Stanton batting very well.
Power
Gary Jones is coming through. Echeverria is coming through.
Echeverria is a surprise because he had a bad season of batting last year. I mean, the defense was going to be there, but his offense has definitely stepped up this year. I think Marcell Ozuna, the center fielder, has definitely shown some power. Christian Yelich. I mean, we have some young pieces and we have some veterans. Saltalamacchia has been doing a decent job. I would love to see him hit a little bit better. Yeah. Right now he's a little bit, around the 250, 270 area. So, he can pull it up a little bit, especially the money we paid for him. He was the big star free agent we landed. Gary Jones, I want to say from the Pirates, is playing well.
Yes, he is.
So, again, I mean, we're not hitting the panic button on the Marlins, but the Marlins definitely, they gave us some hope right away. They electrified us 5-1, but, we hit a little rough patch right now. We're 5-7, like we said. But, Mike Redmond, we're still behind you, but we're watching. So, hopefully you guys pick it up. Like I said, just take it easy. It's a long season. No need to panic. Any panic from you, Bill, before we move on?
No, not at all, man. We'll just be catching on to these Marlins, and hopefully they do better than last year. That's all we're hoping for. Just better.
Again, the good thing is that we're definitely seeing positive energy and seeing them move forward with at least some of their players. The next thing that brings me on to is the pay-per-view fight, if anybody saw it last night, between Manny Pacquiao and Bradley Part 2.
I was very excited to see this fight, man. Let me tell you, I was let down hugely after the first fight, where the whole world saw that Manny Pacquiao decisively won, and they give a split decision to Timothy Bradley. It was nice to see that the judges actually called this one fairly correctly with a unanimous decision to Manny Pacquiao. If anybody saw that fight, I personally thought it was a great fight. Bradley did come out throwing. Pacquiao, even after the fight, had to give him some credit, let him know that he gave him a better fight this time than he did in the first. Letting him know, even though you fought better this time and I still beat you this time, what does that mean? I definitely beat you that first time.
Well, no, I mean, I agree in the fact that it was a better fight. He put up a stronger chin, because I think in the first fight he actually got rocked back a few times where he was almost pretty much knocked out. So he definitely showed me something that he has heart. The kid has heart. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from Timothy Bradley. I'm not going to go as far as saying that he did as well as you're saying he did. I think he stood there and he threw. And, he was there to stand and show Pacquiao. But the biggest mistake he did was he wanted to prove to the world so badly that he deserved to win that first fight that he was going for nothing but these big haymaker shots.
Oh, yeah, every punch. Every single punch was a knockout punch.
It looked kind of sloppy at times. Where
it did.
Maybe, I'm not saying that Pacquiao gave him a pass. But there could have, maybe another fighter would have put him out. I mean, he left himself wide open a lot of shots there. But don't get me wrong, Pacquiao did show he is a boxer. I mean, he boxed him up in every round. To me, there was really nothing that Bradley could do.
It almost seemed like what Timothy Bradley's strategy is what Juan Marquez basically did to Pacquiao was create a slugfest
and hope to catch him.
Hope to land that one knockout punch. Because let me tell you, he caught him a few times where Pacquiao's both feet were off the ground. At the end of the day, the technician did take that fight.
No, I mean, like I said, Bradley showed me a lot. He had a lot of heart. He came to fight. He did definitely come to fight. I mean, he definitely wanted to knock him out.
I give him a lot more. I give him a little more respect this time than last time.
I'm definitely not going to say that he didn't come to show people that he deserved to win. I think at the end of the day, he had to believe he won that fight because what are you going to do? The referees, the judges gave you the fight and you're the champion. Well, you can't walk around now and say, well, I lost. So, I know he had to believe it. He came out as much as he could, but he admitted it. He gave him all he could, and he couldn't beat him.
Hey, that's true. Timothy Bradley did say it at the end that he was glad and honored to be in the ring with the best. You heard that, Mayweather? He said the best.
And not only that, Timothy Bradley actually, gave props to Pacquiao, and he said, you know what? I was glad to see the real Pacquiao in the ring. The guy who had that look like he wanted to prove something. It wasn't the guy that looked like took a little time off, was doing politics in the Philippines. It was the Pacquiao of old. Granted, people are going to make a big deal. He's not knocking people out like he used to. He's not a kid anymore. I mean, it happens to everybody. You're going to lose something, but he's showing you he hasn't lost speed.
Timothy Bradley's not an easy guy to knock out.
No, and he's young, though. But I'm saying Pacquiao is up there in age, 38.
35 years old, and Timothy Bradley's 30.
Yeah. I mean, but hey, definitely shows you Pacquiao still has something left in the tank. He still has the heart. When he wants something, he's still going to get it done. And Mayweather, all I'm gonna say is, man, nobody's gonna leave you alone until you take on until you take on Pacquiao. Get it done. Just get it done, man. You have nothing to lose.
Stop hitting your girlfriend. Stop beating up people on the street.
Stop
like Pacquiao.
Stop betting on Vegas and all this and all that. Why don't you just put money on that that you can beat Pacquiao? Put money on that. Why don't you put a lot of money that you can beat Pacquiao? Stop running. Just get it over with. You want to say, oh, this and that. You know what? I think you just get it done already. Put your record on the line. I know that's what you're trying to hide from. You want to be one of the few, second fighter ever to finish without losing a fight in his career to Joe Louis? But take on people. At least Joe Louis fought people. Take on somebody. You're handpicking people that you know you can beat. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. And again, my hat's off to Manny Pacquiao for, putting one heck of a fight and showing people he still has it. Any last words you got to say about that fight? I mean, I thought that they both brought it. But Pacquiao stood out to me.
I was very excited to see Pacquiao. I heard rumors of there being a Pacquiao-Marquez 5. We all know Pacquiao took 2 of those fights. Marquez has 1, and there's a draw on the table. I don't know if they want to go ahead and try to have one more just to excite the fans.
I don't know. Pacquiao might have something to want to prove. I mean, he did get knocked out pretty bad. You don't really see anybody get
laid down. He stayed flat like a fish.
Yeah, I think he has something to prove. He's starting now with Bradley. Taking back what was stolen from him, and then basically he's gonna maybe want to go after the guy who stole a fight from him, because basically he was losing that fight as well. He was all busted up. He just ate, especially any sport like fighting. One punch took him out.
That's it. It only takes one.
But that'll be it for another time to speak about. That's that's a rumor, like you said, that we heard. But again, great fight. My hat's off to Pacquiao. Congratulations.
Good job, Pac-Man.
All right. So what we want to talk about next is basically what's on a lot of people's minds and never stops being on people's minds. It seems like 365 days a year.
All we have is this NFL draft coming up. It's less than 30 days away.
32 teams working hard, doing their homework, wheeling and dealing, talking behind closed doors.
Great off-season move so far in the free agency. Everything is pointing down to this NFL draft, which everybody's very excited about. We've all been watching on the NFL networks, the ESPNs, the CSBS Sports. We all see the hot names out there of Jadeveon Clowney. You have the Teddy Bridgewater, the Johnny Manziel, the Sammy Watkins. But I wanted to take it somewhere else today. Let's talk about those second-round guys, those third-round guys.
Yeah.
A guy I have in mind is actually a great corner in Stanley Jean-Baptiste. He's actually here from Miami Central, Florida. He played high school here. Played his college football out in Nebraska.
Yeah, well, the Cornhuskers, big corner at 6'3".
6'3", 220 pounds. He actually runs the 40 and 4.4. Reminds you a lot of guys like Antonio Cromartie, Richard Sherman, Browner.
Oh, those are things that are a rarity in the NFL. Find a corner 6'3" who could play press coverage, who could be physical.
Very great coverage skills. Very, very physical. He benched the 225 pounds. He benched it at 19 reps. Not bad for a corner.
Oh, it's pretty good for a corner. I mean, he's going to be dealing with some big receivers there. He definitely needs to be strong.
You want to talk about big receivers. One guy I got climbing up my board is actually Cody Latimer from Indiana. This guy is a very big body receiver at 6'3", 215 pounds. Gives you that Vincent Jackson, Brandon Marshall caliber, very athletic, very explosive. He's just going to need a little bit of help on his route running, but other than that, this guy is solid.
Yeah, it's something the NFL is definitely looking to move towards. It looks like the big body receivers are coming back. A lot of especially with the game the way it's going, a lot of jump passes, a lot of these little gimmicky plays where you need a receiver to throw a block. These big receivers now are coming up. Obviously, like the names out there right now for the first round is Mike Evans from Texas A&M, Kelvin Benjamin. Those are the prototypical ones that people are talking about. But I think there's another name out there that I know you like is Allen Robinson.
Oh, that's my favorite right now, man. Let me tell you, this guy coming from Penn State, another guy who's 6'2", 220 pounds. He ran the 40 at 4.5. I know it's not the sexiest time, but man, this guy's skills and knack for going for the ball is amazing.
Hey, when you talk about that type of size, 4.5 is pretty good. I mean, he's not no 5'10", 5'11" receiver. I mean, that's good speed for a guy that size. That's like, it actually talks about his agility and his versatility as a receiver.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Another guy that I have moving up the boards real fast is the safety from Florida State, Terrence Brooks. This guy is amazing. A great swing defender, very athletic. He can play all over the field. One moment he's on the left side of the field, the next thing you know, he's taking an interception in the middle. He's very physical, and he's only 5'11", 220 pounds.
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna back you on that one. I definitely like Terrence Brooks. Terrence Brooks to me is a solid second round pick. And if he slips for whatever reason to the third, but I don't think you'll see that guy get past the third round. I mean, he's extremely rangy. He covers well downfield. I mean, the guy is he's solid, like you said. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. He runs the 40 and 4.4. I mean, I got some reports here reading about him. Strong closing speed, limits big plays. He maintains gap assignments. He sheds blocks well. I mean, there's nothing when you read
Yeah, he's one
about
of those
this guy.
guys. You're going to have him. You can put him in to start. He's going to be in your sub packages and your nickels. He's going to be all over there.
No, and the guy, actually, believe it or not, there's a team out there that might need a safety to come in right away. The guy has experience. He's played for a team like FSU, who has a strong defensive background.
National
title. So he has definitely championship pedigree. I mean, that's a guy that you might want to definitely look at in the second round. I mean, hey, even for us Dolphin fans, you know. I know we signed Luis Delmas, but, you know, Luis Delmas is kind of injury-prone at times. Never bad to have a backup plan.
Oh, you're right. Talking about guys like that, we got a guy, Louisville, Marcus Smith. Not many people have heard about this guy, but if you guys are looking for a late, you know, second to third round pass rusher, because that's what this guy is. He's going to bring you nothing but pass rushing. His senior year recorded 14.5 sacks, and that is Marcus Smith. He used to be quarterback his first 2 years over in Louisville. Then he's transitioned over to the defensive end spot. He's 6'3", 251 pounds, and he's running the 40 and 4.6.
Wow, I mean, that's impressive. I mean,
very impressive.
You know, that's the thing about the draft. You know, the draft is crazy like that. You know, you have to get in a room and you have to sit there and you have to break these guys down. And, you know, it basically at the end of the day, what it boils down to is what you need, what you're looking for, what your team, what the concept is, what the, you know, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to build. I mean, you can't just, you know, a lot of people fall in love with these sexy names and say, oh, okay, that's what we have to draft at that spot. Can't go that way. So a lot of these teams fail and they don't do very well in their drafts is because they fall in love with what everybody's saying. You got to look what's for you. You got to see what you're trying to do. And if that guy fits you, you can fall in love with player Z. Although he's at the end of the line, if that's what you feel is what you want and you're looking for and that you feel that guy is your guy, go get him. Don't think about it, because when you think about it, that's when you mess up.
Hey, there's no better example than Mr. Tom Brady at pick number 199.
Hey, I'm sure a lot of people started saying the same thing you hear about all these special gurus out there. Oh, the arm strength. You know, it's not this, it's not that. That's what Tom Brady got. And what are those guys saying now? All the guys are backpedaling. Well, what were you going to say? He was scrawny. When you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, you didn't see it. You didn't see it. I mean,
do your homework.
Do your homework. You really got to do your homework. And you also got to believe in the hype on a lot of players. You know, I want to bring up the Dolphins, especially us right here. We're Dolphin fans, as you know. And for all my Dolphin fans out there, I don't know if you remember back on the show, I did say the Dolphins did go ahead and take one of the top left tackles in the free agency market. You know, we should focus on a real guard or a versatile guard left tackle, or even maybe go safety or big body wide receiver. And well, our dreams came true earlier this offseason. We signed Brandon Albert at left tackle. So I'm going to bring a couple names up. I know a lot of the NFL believes and the gurus believe Zach Martin. That's the guy I would definitely fit. I mean, he's a good, you know, he can play either left or right tackle. We still have a hole at right tackle, even though we signed Jason Fox. But he hasn't been known to be a starter per se. He's been a very good backup. But Jason Fox, I'm not going to count him, pencil him in to be the right tackle starter. So the right tackle is definitely still open. Guard is definitely our pressing need when you really think about it, because we don't really have a true right guard right now to be playing there.
And that's where the name David Yankee pops up.
David Yankee is a hot name, definitely coming up the boards. I mean, they were talking about him before as a solid guy, you know, 6'5", 313 for Stanford. You know he's smart. You know he's tough because they run the ball a lot in Stanford. But I'm not saying that they weren't talking about him, but he's definitely coming up as a strong, you know, guard coming up the rankings. But another guy that I'm going to bring up that I think the Dolphins are taking a look at is Xavier Su'a-Filo. I had to look at his name. From UCLA, man. I hope I said your name right. He's 6'4", 307. Versatile, nasty, mean blocker in the run. I mean, I know that's something we needed because we were kind of soft up last year.
He's very great off the ball. Great at getting that first punch to push downfield, road blocker.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's athletic. I mean, when I got a report, I had to get a report on this guy. I mean, when I heard that the Dolphins were taking a look at him, you know, I had to get the right info for you guys out there. You know, they have him rated as the number 2 guard on the board. He's a solid first to second round pick. Second if he slips. But a lot of people say he's moving up to the middle to late first round. I mean, the Dolphins are definitely got some decisions to make. Like I said, they can go big body wide receiver. If they think they can wait to the second round for the type of guys you were talking about, like Allen Robinson. But if they don't want to go that route and they want to look at a guy in the first round, a guy that, like I said, you have Kelvin Benjamin, Mike Evans. The only thing is lately I will say this, and I don't pull punches. I'm not here to say that when I stick to a guy, that's the only guy I'm sticking with. Because I will say this, there have been reports lately that I didn't like. I mean, maybe you could talk a little bit more about this, about his work ethic, what happened lately with a team that was trying to hold the workout with him.
Oh yeah, he just completely blew them off. He said he was too tired. I mean, that talks about his work ethic right there. And when you're telling an NFL team that's ready to throw millions at you, you're telling them you're too tired. What are they going to tell you when you have to do those training camps and this and that and go through it all? What are you going to say then?
Yeah, Kelvin, I think you made a little mistake there. I mean, like I said, I've been one of your supporters here. I'm not saying I'm backing away from your talent, but that doesn't look good on your behalf to just, tell somebody, hey, that's like basically a regular person like us to go to a job interview. You're basically telling me that if I go do these interviews and I do well, I'm going to get a job somewhere. And I just say, you know what? Nah, that's all right. I'm not going to show up. I'm a little too tired today. We're going to be in the street with no money. So, hey, again, that's just from our point of view. Not saying that takes away from your talent. You're a big talent, at your size and at your speed. I mean, in playing for FSU and what you did, I mean, hey, definitely, you definitely have the talent.
You were just talking about guards and all that. I wanted to bring up a guy that's also might be available in the third round. I don't know if many people have heard of him. Kadeem Edwards, coming out of Tennessee State. Another really big boy at 6'4", 313 pounds. He's running his 40 time at 5'1". Very, very athletic guard. Gets off the ball very fast. He's known for pulling and getting off for those screens and all that. So, having Noshawn Moreno and Lamar Miller, a guy like that can be well used if we can pick him up in the third or fourth round.
Hey, whoever's watching this show today, you definitely can't say that we haven't given you names out there that you probably haven't heard. I mean, this guy's bringing the report today on you. He's definitely giving you the scouting report on some guys out there. So if you're watching, take notice of some of these names. These are guys that we've been doing our homework on. These are not names that are just popping up. These are names that this man right here has been doing a scouting report on and has been looking into info on these guys. Hey, we do this all day, every day.
I'm going to throw one more name out there for all the curious. I know we got Noshawn Moreno, but we can get this guy deep. They say he's moving up on people's boards. I haven't really seen the professional boards yet. And that's Terrence West coming out of Towson. The guy is 5'9", 225 pounds. The guy is a solid bull. That's what he is.
I think the Dolphins are definitely going to be looking in the late rounds for a running back. I don't think it's such an urgency anymore in the first three anymore. But I think in the late rounds, hey, if a guy like that that's available, or any other of those big backs that are out there that we might need help, because it's not a lock that Daniel Thomas is going to make this team. A lot of people are disappointed in him.
Yeah.
Lamar Miller, I mean, hey, he's still freshly new. Last year was his first year really starting, and he didn't really start. I mean, he was splitting. I mean, again, that's not saying that he shouldn't have worked to get that spot to be his. But again, it was only his first year, not the greatest offensive line. So, we got to give Lamar a break.
Tannehill, for all those out there saying this is his make or break year, I think you're dead wrong about him. Because with a year like last year where he was the most sacked quarterback in the league, he's already played 2 years in the league, and he's already ranked 3 in most sacked in the NFL, and it's only his second year, and that's going up against quarterbacks that have been playing for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years.
Yeah, last year was a disaster with 58 sacks.
And with that, he still put 25 plus touchdowns, still won over 3,000 yards. So you guys out there saying make or break year, no.
No, I mean definitely.
You got to give this kid time.
You got to definitely give him time. You got to remember he only played 2 years in college as a quarterback. Then he came here with the same thing in the Sherman. So maybe Sherman didn't let him progress. I mean, now you got Bill Lazor. Look what he did with Nick Foles, who's going to be running this team. And Nick Foles, I mean, outplayed Vic and took over that team and led that team. So Bill Lazor definitely has experience working with young quarterbacks, and he did a heck of a job with Foles. So I have all the confidence that now, from a different perspective for Tannehill, not the same thing over and over from college. It didn't give him room to grow. It just kind of kept him there where he was at college. So I think definitely you guys need to relax with the Tannehill bashing. I mean, 58 sacks. Come on, man. Nobody lives off their back, throwing, and for what he did, over 3,000 yards. I mean, come on, give the guy a chance. You've seen with the NFL, it's not like these quarterbacks grow on trees, because not every team would have a great quarterback. Well, that definitely brings our show to a close today. I mean, it was a lot of topics we had, a lot of stuff been going on in sports. But before I go out today, I definitely want to send out my condolences to the Ultimate Warrior family. The Ultimate Warrior was one of the greatest wrestlers that the WWF/WWE has had. Ultimate Warrior was one of those most interesting characters that the WWF and WWE ever had. Yeah, there was some issues, there was some problems that went on, but again, he was a heck of a wrestler, stuck by his convictions. Again, my condolences go out to the family. Ultimate Warrior, you're one of the best. Again, may you rest in peace. And condolences again. Sorry to hear about what's going on. And basically, you guys, thank you for watching our show. This is my co-host, Michael Sanchez, reporting today with some great info on the NFL Draft. And I'm your host, Anthony Sanchez, bringing you up-to-date reports on what's going on sports, all sports at that, across. And basically, don't forget to subscribe to our show, follow us. And if you want to also keep up with our blog, you can hit me up at my blog, Real Talk, Real Sports with Anthony. The latest one is Real Talk or Real Sports with Anthony14.blogspot.com. You can take a look there at the current blogs that have been written, and you can follow the rest of them there. So sign up and follow us. That's it for us today. Follow us on our next episode. Thanks for watching Real Talk, Real Sports. You have a good one.